Welcome back to this Lenten devotional series based on Mark's Gospel. For day 38, we'll pick up where we left off yesterday in the midst of Jesus' so-called trial by the religious leaders. We'll be reading in Mark 14, 60 through 65. Then the high priest stood up before them and asked Jesus, "Have you no answer? What is it that they testify against you?" But he was silent and did not answer. Again the high priest asked him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" Jesus said, "I am, and you will see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of the power and coming with the clouds of heaven." Then the high priest tore his clothes and said, "Why do we still need witnesses? You have heard his blasphemy. What is your decision?" All of them condemned him as deserving death. Some began to spit on him, to blindfold him, and to strike him, saying to him, "Prophesy." The guards also took him and beat him. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Jesus was in a bad spot, alone before a kangaroo court filled with people who feared and hated him, and knowing that the hours to come would bring even worse. But I have to believe that with his amazing eye for ironies, Jesus may well have been encouraged, if not entertained, by what was happening. After all, this was the one who, in a culture that valued pedigree and hierarchy, put an ordinary child in the midst of his disciples and said, "If you want to enter the kingdom of God, you have to be like this child." And he taught that to secure our lives, we had to let them go. So much of what Jesus said and did dripped with irony. And there is something about truth revealed in irony that goes deeper than truth told straight up. So I'm betting that Jesus saw things that night that no one else could, the massive ironies on display. For example, the whole idea of God being on trial before sinful man was a stunning irony, and the accusations that Jesus was a false prophet, in fact, fulfilled the prophecies he had spoken to his disciples not long before. And you can be sure that Jesus could hear the truth in what Caiaphas thought was mockery. "You are the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" So the one who made himself the enemy of truth unknowingly proclaimed profound truth. Then there was this. Jesus, the one who could easily have spoken the truth of his innocence, mostly stayed mute in the face of total lies. And then when he did speak, this one who stood in chains and already bruised from beatings, he laid claim to an exalted identity as the very one the Old Testament prophesied, the glorious Son of Man. And when Caiaphas ripped his garments to proclaim Jesus' blasphemy, he himself was the blasphemer. The events in this chapter of Mark make us cringe. We hate to see these so-called trials, and even more to see how they beat Jesus. But let your eyes take in the full ironies Jesus himself saw in the moment, and then you can see how even these dark moments are pulled into the brightness of the gospel good news. Here are a couple of questions to ponder as you look back over these verses. What other ironies do you recognize in Jesus' teachings and actions? How do you think irony adds to the veracity of the gospel story? And what ironies do you see in Jesus calling you to be his disciple and then using you in the world? God bless you.